Hello everyone, this is Tim, and thanks to other Tim1 who gave me the Player's Handbook a while back for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, I've been tinkering with it, messing around with it, thinking about house rules, but I really haven't come down to a final list yet. I put out a video a little while ago when the basic PDF was released, and some things I'm still unsure about. That was sort of a gut reaction to things, and I think some people have made videos in the past about how you should have an open mind about a new RPG set and all these sorts of things. And I've been sort of thinking about that, and I don't know. We'll see what happens if I ever get a chance to run or play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. But for right now, I wanted to do a little bit of do-it-yourself, tinkering, I guess is a good way to put it. I saw references to the D&D Cleric Domain of Death that's going to be in the Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master's Guide, I believe. But I kind of thought it'd be kind of fun to come up with a different domain and stat it out and see if I could, make my own, because I don't know, 5th edition seems a little bit limiting on how many domains or spheres of influence or portfolios that some of the gods have. They just seem to have one or two. And I guess I'm just used to having more. I'm used to having gods with more, their fingers in more pools, I guess, or just having just various places where they have influence. So I think if I ever did anything with the gods, I would probably give them more domains than are listed. And there's some domains that I would come up with, I think, that would sort of open it up, because I believe there's only 7. I'm sure they're going to put out some sort of book about the gods and more domains and blah blah blah, but I kind of want to do it myself just to see if I can do it. So the Death Domain for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons Cleric. So this would be for a god of death, and that can be taken a lot of different ways. It doesn't have to be an evil god. In my Marth Ice world setting, whenever the god of death died, mortals wouldn't pass on. Their corpses would animate automatically. So there can be good reasons for having a god of death, to keep death in line, to keep the cycle of life going, and all that stuff. So Death Domain. Some of the things you have to come up with are spells that you give out at 1st, 3rd, 7th, 5th, 7th, and 9th level, and I did that. So these are all 5th edition spells. I didn't come up with my own spells. I think that if I had to flesh out more domains, I would have to do that. So for 1st level, I picked Bane and Sleep. For 3rd level, I picked See Invisibility and Gentle Repose. For 5th level, I picked Speak with Dead and Animate Dead. 7th, I picked Blight and Phantasmal Killer. 9th, I picked Create Undead and Anti-Life Shell. So those were the spells that you picked. And for 1st, you're supposed to pick a 1st level spell. For the 3rd level, a 2nd, and you just go down the line, 3rd, 4th, 5th. And those all seem to fit pretty well. I'm sure if there was more spells to pick from, there could be better ones perhaps, but those all seem to fit my ideas of a god of death. At 1st level, you would get Necromantic Blessing. You can choose any necromancy spell and prepare it as a cleric spell. So this would be, warlock spells, wizard spells, doesn't matter. As long as it's listed as being a necromancy spell, you can cast it as a cleric spell. The next thing at 1st level is Death Can Wait. You gain advantage on all death saving throws. I figured, you're a proponent of death. Death is watching you. You might get a little bit of edge on those things. So whenever you would roll a death saving throw, you would roll 2 d20s. At 2nd level, this is a Channel Divinity thing. It's just an aspect of the cleric. I labeled it Feed on Undeath. Choose any undead target within 30 feet of your character. If they fail a wisdom saving throw, you can drain them of hit points and add those hit points to your character's hit points. You can drain a number of hit points equal to 3 times your cleric level. So basically, if there's an undead near you, you can drain them of this dark, necrotic energy and somehow convert that into your own life force. At 6th level, I picked Death Ritual. You can cast necromancy spells as a ritual, even if it doesn't have the ritual tag. And there's some rules on, basically casting spells that and not really needing to use a spell slot and doing a ritual. And I thought the idea of a ritual dealing with necromancy and death spells had a sort of appeal to it. Alright, at 8th level, Death's Touch. If you touch a dying target, they automatically fail a death saving throw. Also, you have resistance to necrotic damage. So I thought that was kind of fun. Those three, you have to fail 3 death saving throws to die. And I figured for important NPCs, they're probably going to follow the same rules. And I saw this in my head of just this cleric going over and resting their hand on someone's head and just, if no one bothers them, they're just going to slowly make them die. They're just going to tilt the odds in the favor of them never coming back to life. So that actually might be kind of a fun ability here as well. Maybe I'll throw that at the end. So at 17th level, I chose the title Avatar of Death, and I was going to have the Command Undead ability of the Necromancer. I think it's at like 14th level or 12th level. It's basically the same exact ability, but perhaps we'll just add in that thing that just popped in my head. If you touch someone who's dying and they actually die, they cannot come back to life. Maybe you have that ability too. That's up for debate. But yeah, that is the death domain that I came up with. If you have any sort of 5e do-it-yourself stuff, I'd love to hear it. I love when people take rules and manipulate them and do their own thing with them. So let me know if you're doing anything out there with 5th edition. Maybe you're coming up with some backgrounds or house rules or whatever. I'd like to hear about it. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I'll talk to you later.